Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We will chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Taidattana pradayabhyaha,
Taidattana pradayabhyaha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha,
Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha,
Yajnah karma samudbhavaha,
Yajnah कर्म समुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we are in verse number 11, where he is introducing this concept of Devaha. Devaha means God. So in plural, Devaha means gods. So generally, the way we approach spirituality in a way where we separate divinity and ourselves. If you think about it, the ego wants to keep on separating. What is ego? Wanting to stand alone, wanting to stand alone in comparison with others. That is ego. That's why we say, when you have superiority complex, that is ego, because it is with respect to others. When you have inferiority complex, that is also ego, because again it is in comparison to others only. So the ego wants you to separate yourself from others. From others means not only people, we can take the entire lokaha, like we are right now we are seeing the three types of lokaha, the cosmic world, the outer world and the inner world. So we can take it as the world also. So what happens is the ego influences the intellect, the ego influences the mind. So intellect keeps thinking and the mind keeps feeling. Now when the ego influences the intellect, then you start getting thoughts of separation. That is, you want to separate yourself from the world. When the ego influences the mind, the emotions, you get an emotion, a desire, followed by an emotion of separation. Now, not only that, the mind and intellect, together we can call them as the mind. Your mind starts seeing differences in the world. See, when you objectively see differences, there is nothing wrong with it. But when your ego is pushing your mind to see differences, then what happens is you create a hierarchy. You say one person is superior, one person is inferior, this is more divine, this is less divine. So many differences you start creating and a hierarchy of superiority and inferiority. Now, even though you are seeing the differences outside, actually that tendency is coming from within you only. So the more ego you have, the more you will separate yourself from the crowd, from the world. That is, you will have a tendency to want to separate. See, you should understand two things. One is the tendency to wanting to separate, tendency to look different, to do things differently. That is a weakness when it is with, especially when it is with reference to others. Now, this should be differentiated from the other thing, that is, when you are yourself, when you are original, authentic, creative, or when your creative powers are active, you achieve various things in life. Now, automatically there will be a beauty to it. So, people may notice you. You will not be bothered. A true sadhak will not be bothered about recognition, name, fame, even within a small circle. All those things actually are meaningless. But incidentally, your work, the quality of your work will stand out. Now, that is to be differentiated from what is being said here. You wanting to do things differently than others, that is coming from ego. That will destroy your peace of mind. So, ego always wants to separate. Wherever the ego manifests, it keeps separating. Now, what is spirituality? Spirituality is in oneness, reducing the separation. The more spiritual you are, the more comfortable you will be with the world, because you are not resisting. When you are least spiritual, you are unable to relate to the world. You are unable to relate to others. As you start evolving spiritually, you will become very comfortable with others because your focus is not on the differences. Rather, when you get attuned to the infinite, that infinite reality is present everywhere in everyone. So you will rest at peace. You will become very comfortable with yourself and with the world. And the world will also reciprocate. People will also start feeling very nice when they come into your aura. They'll feel very positive. This is the law of cause and effect, Whatever you give, the same thing will come back. So this is one very important trait or quality which you need to observe in yourself. Because some sadhaks, what they say is, as I keep gaining all this knowledge, wisdom, I am unable to relate to anybody. It means you have not really truly gained the wisdom. You are getting a superiority complex that now I have this wisdom, I am doing sadhana, others are not. So you have started judging others, which means you are not a true sadhak. You may call yourself a sadhak, but what determines whether you are a true sadhak or not? Whether you are having a feeling of identification with others, or are you having a feeling of separation from others? Great masters, great yogis, siddhas, what did they do? It is not because of the knowledge that they are called great yogis. All they did was to just identify with anyone, everyone who came to them. They just sat at one place and identified themselves with the entire universe, and they kept radiating the energy of peace, unconditional love. How much people received, who receives, all those things are dependent on the individuals. That is not the concern of the masters, but from within themselves, what are they generating? The energy of positivity, and they keep on sending it. It's not that they have to put in an effort to send it. Energy always flows. So whatever energy you create automatically starts flowing from inside to outside. It's an automatic process. So when it comes to divinity, when it comes to God, there also the ego wants to separate. So that is why when you start off with the spiritual sadhana, your concept of God will be someone or some power which is far away from you. You will relate to God in third person. God is somewhere, definitely not here. Even when you talk of the heaven, all that, it is somewhere far away. That is how you will approach it. But as you start evolving spiritually, when you keep doing your sadhana, you will start relating to God more in a more close way. From third person, it will become second person. Third person means he or she, somewhere God is there. This is third person. Second person means God is there in front of me. This is your relating with God in a more close way. The infinite is present everywhere, the infinite reality. Now, if you do more and more sadhana and you evolve to a further higher level, now you will start relating to divinity very intimately. That same divinity, that infinite reality which is present far away, which is present outside. And that same reality which is present outside is present inside also. So if you want to get connected to divinity, when you come to that level, you will not need any special ritual. You will not, a place of worship will no longer be a necessity for you. You can just, wherever you are, you can just close your eyes and you can get connected. And then a stage would come where whether you close your eyes or open your eyes, you are always connected. You become one with the infinite. That is the sacred moment of self-realization, enlightenment, where there is absolutely no separation between you and God, you and the infinite. Having experienced that, great masters said, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that supreme Brahman. They are not meaning the physical body. They are not meaning the mind. They are not meaning the intellect. They are meaning that consciousness. See, the word soul is used in a very loose way today. But soul actually means consciousness. And when the consciousness is limited, it is called Jivatma. When it expands and becomes one with the infinite, when it becomes unlimited, it is called Paramatma. And why do we call Krishna as Krishna Paramatma? Because he was a direct manifestation of the infinite. That's why he is an avatar. It's not only Krishna. All avatars are Paramatmas. They are representative of that supreme consciousness, which is called Paramatma. So, when he is introducing the concept of gods, as I told you, there are gradations. But even we are seeing those gradations. But even before that, how will your mind relate to the concept of gods? Always as some powers far, far away from you. Automatically, the ego will create a distance. The reason it creates a distance is the moment there is identification, the ego will get dissolved. So the ego does not want to get destroyed. So it creates various thoughts and emotions so that it can be alive. And one of those things is the thought of separation, the emotion of separation. I'm only talking of identification here. We are not talking of physically being away. It's not that. Again, you see, you will relate it with the body. We are talking of your identification, inner identification, the identification of your consciousness. Generally, your consciousness, when you're very highly egoistic, your consciousness will be identified just with yourself, the physical body, your equipments, material equipments. I, me, myself, nobody else. You cannot accommodate anyone else internally. You are willing to cheat anyone. You are willing to cheat your own family. I know some people who cheat their own spouses. They lie, they have no real affection or emotions. They cheat their own children. They cheat their own parents. That is extreme selfishness. And as the ego starts dissolving, then that I or that consciousness will start expanding. So it's not merely I, me, myself, my family, my immediate family, but that will become a boundary. That is also selfishness when compared to a further higher level, but it is better than the lower level. And then the consciousness will expand further. Why only I, me, my family? The society is made up of so many families. Everyone has a right to live. So your identification broadens, then to the country, then to the entire universe. Thus, as your identification broadens, expands and grows, your oneness, the feeling of oneness increases. The ego starts reducing. And when your identification is with the infinite, the ego becomes zero, no ego. This is precisely the reason why the ego tries its best to not to allow your consciousness to expand. Now, all this is when your consciousness is fully active. Now, supposing a person is an addict, let's say to alcohol, to smoking, drugs and all this, then their consciousness has shrunk and gone further down. They are not even at a selfish level. They are below the level of selfishness. Because see, when you, for example, when you drink alcohol or when you take drugs and all that, you really don't even know what you're doing. Your consciousness shrinks tremendously. All the tapas, the sadhana which you do, everything just gets frittered away. So, now in this verse, when he is introducing this principle of gods, devaha, now according to your level of development, you will relate to gods. Are you seeing gods as some powers far, far away from you, and are you stopping with that? Are you able to see the play of divinity, gods, in the outer world? And today we'll be seeing what devaha means internally. So to what extent you are able to identify, that depends on your level of consciousness. That is, whether your consciousness is identified just with yourself, with your limited material equipments, or whether it is an expanded one. The idea of doing sadhana is to go on expanding the consciousness. And the block will be ego only. Ego will try to prevent you from doing sadhana. Whatever the Guru gives, sometimes it may not be so pleasant. So certain things the Guru may ask you to do, because he may want you to come out of your weaknesses, but you will not want to face all that. It will be a pain. But every little practice which the Guru gives is only aimed towards reduction of ego and increasing that feeling of identification. Because the ultimate goal, as he says, param shreyaha, is identifying with that infinite consciousness 100%. And that is what a guru's vision is. A true guru wants the students to become one with the infinite. And he will see what is the major block, or rather the only block is ego. All other blocks are nothing but different manifestations of the ego. Sometimes the ego will manifest in a tamasic way. Sometimes the ego will manifest in a rajasic way. Sometimes the ego can manifest in a sattvic way also. Even sattva is higher than rajas and tamas. But from the highest level, that also has to be transcended. So depending upon how the ego manifests, the Guru keeps on suggesting, do this, do that. It may look contradictory. What he tells one person may be one thing, what he tells another student may be something else. Just the opposite also. If a student is over-expressive, he may tell that person, you should exercise control over your expressions. If a person is very shy, if a person hesitates a lot to express, he may say, you should express yourself fully. They are looking, like two opposite instructions. But what are both instructions aimed at? To get the person to that balance, level of balance, where there is no ego. So when we are getting deep into this principle of devaha, you should have this in mind, that the idea of studying all this, the idea of doing all the sadhana is to ultimately keep on increasing our identification. So, if any of you is feeling that, oh, I have gained this wisdom, now I am not able to relate with others, I am not able to relate with my family, I am not able to relate with my friends and all that, understand that ego is at work. See, just imagine, Lord Krishna was an avatar. What would have been his level? Inconceivable. If you go to describe Krishna, all attempts will fail, because he was a direct manifestation of the infinite. But he played a very humble role. He played the role of the younger brother to Balarama, and he interacted with the Pandavas, with the Kauravas. Everybody was comfortable with him, right from young age. Everybody liked him. Why? Because he was comfortable with everyone. He never claimed an artificial superiority. He never thought, I am superior, all of you are inferior. It's never like that. Same thing, Lord Rama. When you read the Puranas and Itihasas, the primary thing which you notice is all the great avatars and the other saints, all of them had this friendly nature. When Kaushika did a lot of tapas and he became a Brahmagnani, he called himself Vishwamitra. It's not that he called himself, actually, automatically he was conferred that title, Vishwamitra. Vishwa means the entire universe, Mitra means friend. He became a friend to everyone. He started off the tapas with a competitive spirit. He had a competition with sage Vasishta. But as he got deeper into the tapas, how can all that competitive spirit which stems from ego, how can all that sustain? They'll have to go away. And thus he became the great Vishwamitra. See, when you read, when you hear about the story of the life incident of sage Vishwamitra, now you should absorb that energy. Absorb whatever positive you're hearing about anyone. When you read about Lord Rama, when you go on reading the description and the various qualities, wonderful qualities he had, now all that you start absorbing. When you read about Lord Krishna, what an attractive personality he was. Automatically you start absorbing that energy. So the reason why he is asking you to focus on gods is to absorb the divine energy. When it is at a relative level, it's a limited God. No doubt, that is also the same principle of Devaha only, but at a relative level. But to that extent, you can absorb. See, wherever your mind is focusing, it starts absorbing energy. When you focus on, let us say, all negative people, all negativities which are happening around, now you will absorb all that negative energy. When you focus on positive things, you will absorb that energy. When you focus on gods, divine beings, now automatically you start absorbing the divine energy. So you keep on growing, and a time would come where your mind would be entirely focused on that supreme reality, who is the God of all gods. Your whole personality will just be focused on that God of all gods. Then you start absorbing that infinite nature into your consciousness. Your consciousness becomes one with that infinite. So, now what are we seeing here? May you nourish the gods by this, may the gods nourish you. So the entire focus of this verse is on nourishing gods and the gods nourishing you. So the principle of gods plays a prominent role in this particular verse, verse number 11. So that message you need to first pick up as a sadhak. So what are gods? Last week we were seeing some applications. The principle of gods, they keep varying according to the context. So three types of lokas. One is Brahmanda loka, the cosmic world, the macrocosmic world. That is a very, very huge setup. What the scientists have discovered today is not even a fraction of what the entire universe is. That's why they call it as Brahmanda, Ananta, infinite. Now, when we talk of Brahmanda Loka, gods mean natural forces, the various powers. That is what we were seeing last time, the different forces of nature which we have no control over. So the 5 basic elements, Prithvi, Devi, then you have Varuna Deva, like this, various gods, the earth element, the fire element, Agni Deva, the water element, all are different forces of nature. So whenever they talked about the Brahmanda Loka, and when they used the word Devaha, they meant the natural forces which govern the world. So Brahma is a force of creation. Vishnu is a force of maintenance. Shiva is a force of destruction. Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Mahakali is the force of again destruction. Mahalakshmi is a force of abundance. Mahasaraswati is the force of knowledge, because what is interesting is a force of intelligence. The entire universe is functioning as if they are inherently intelligent. It's very interesting. The whole planetary movements, everything seemed to be so beautifully organized in an intelligent way. Mahasaraswati represents that force of intelligence or force of knowledge present in nature. So different gods, different goddesses. Whenever we're using the word gods, you should understand that word as gods and goddesses. We are not seeing any differences there. So our primary duty is to not to disturb nature, because may you nourish gods, may the gods nourish you. This is the cause and effect. What you give comes back to you. So when you disturb nature, the nature will get restless, and that will cause a lot of harm to you. So as a sadhak, start becoming one with nature. In that empowerment program, Kaya Tattva, this is what was taught to you from a health perspective. We saw the basic 5 elements. How do you strengthen and balance these 5 elements within you? What kind of lifestyle you should choose which doesn't disturb the natural flow? What kind of food when we eat, it doesn't disturb the natural system? How do we eat it? For example, if you remember that principle of chewing and eating, that is a natural way. It doesn't disturb the natural setup. If you just like that gulp it, you're actually disturbing nature. So that will have its repercussions. Then you will have health issues. Drinking the right amount of water, that is going along with the natural flow. We saw all those principles: sleep, exercise, food, water, air, and at a subtler levels, how to be at peace with the natural flow of things. You will have to look into that. You will have to master that. Then you are performing yajna at that level. Then the next step is the Bahya Loka, the outer world. What is the outer world? In this cosmos, what you experience is something very little. So you are seeking many things from the outer world. You're seeking wealth. You're seeking some good career, good work. You're seeking nice relationships. It could be family, it could be friends. You're seeking to create something new, that is creativity. Those 12 aspects we saw, the finding rhythm in life, that empowerment. I think that is also available online now. So, though all those aspects belong to the outer world. So, whenever they referred to the outer world, in that context, when they used the word Devaha, what they meant was some worldly goal which you are pursuing. See, the whole idea is to divinize everything. Each and every experience should be divinized. You should start experiencing that infinite everywhere, in every experience of yours. So when you are pursuing wealth, don't pursue wealth as mere wealth. Then that becomes a very limited worldly experience. Pursue wealth as a sadhana. It is a worship of Goddess Lakshmi. Nourishing, bhavayata, have that attitude, bhavaha, build a divine bhavana, a sacred bhavana. Then the very exercise of acquiring wealth becomes a spiritual sadhana, spiritual exercise. When you are acquiring knowledge, don't approach it as, okay, let me know a few things, just as a mere information. Then there is no life in it. When you are seeking knowledge, what the yogis are saying is you are seeking Goddess Saraswati. Then there is a divine touch there. When you start seeing wealth as Lakshmi, knowledge as Saraswati, immediately, not only it brings a lot of life, it infuses a lot of divine energy there. That is the whole idea. You're seeking success instead of understanding it objective, merely as an inanimate thing. You see it as, I am worshipping Lord Ganesha. Then even as you are seeking and various things from the world, even as you are fulfilling various goals, so-called worldly goals, actually you are worshipping gods. You are becoming more and more divine. You are absorbing the divine energy. So through that exercise, you will come out as a more spiritual person. See, these great masters, they are very practical. One way is you leave everything, you sit at one place, now completely withdraw your mind. Don't allow it to go anywhere. No, I'm not asking you to practice this, I'm only saying on paper that is one way, but can you really do it? No. And just focus on God, God, God. That's it. Actually, if you're able to do it, then you don't need any other sadhana. But that is not practical. So these great masters, they started observing, okay, where all is the mind running? Now how to divinize that? So they started introducing this principle that every aspect of the universe, every aspect of the world is actually a manifestation of the infinite only. It's not that they are creating a concept of a god or a goddess and placing where your mind is going. That divine expression is already there. They are asking you to recognize that. And the more you start recognizing that, the more you will start relating to the divine aspect of your worldly goals. Then it becomes a sadhana. That is the beauty. So with respect to Bahya Loka, gods represent the various worldly goals. So when I am saying worldly goals, worldly goals can be looked upon as mere worldly goals, then there is no divine element there. But when you bring in this divine perception, then that experience becomes very spiritual for you. So instead of asking you to completely control the mind, which is not practical, they are saying wherever the mind goes now, learn to convert that into a divine experience. See the amazing practicality and the genius of these great masters. So this is at the outer level. Now, the third loka is antarloka, the inner world. What is happening within you? With respect to antarloka, what is the meaning of devaha? With respect to the inner world, gods represent the inner divine qualities related to self-development and self-purification. Goddess Lakshmi represents external wealth when it comes to outer world. When it comes to the inner world, Goddess Lakshmi represents the inner wealth of good qualities. Not only that, see what is interesting is, what our great masters are saying is that every outer quality has a corresponding inner quality. When it manifests outside, we call it wealth. When it manifests inside, that energy, we call it the abundance mentality. Actually, the next empowerment is going to be focused on that only. How to attract abundance. How to create the energy field of abundance within you. We are going to have this in the month of December. After the release of Sri Hanuman Dhyana, then will come this powerful empowerment course. So you can, when you attend that, your whole energy field will change. We are going to focus on this inner world and changing the energy pattern, and thus creating a positive effect in the external world, in your experiences. So when it comes to knowledge, in the outer world it is external knowledge. When it comes to the inner world, it is the knowledge of yourself. See, the moment you start observing yourself, you begin to learn more about yourself. It is nothing but a manifestation of that energy of Goddess Saraswati. Now it is turned inward. When we take, for example, Bhagavan Muruga. Now, Muruga at the inner level represents the energy of dynamism, of confidence, all that. Inner strength. Lord Hanuman, he represents that inner power, inner strength. So when you take the inner world, that is also so vast and complex, just as the Brahmanda Loka. If the Brahmanda Loka is infinite outside, your Antarloka is infinite inside. That is what is interesting. If that is unfathomable, this is also unfathomable. That is why we call our great yogis also as scientists. They were inner scientists. They explored this infinite inner world and gave out these truths. The approach is one and the same. See, the field of application, when it is external, we say external scientists. When it is the inner world, we call them internal scientists. That is what these great yogis are. So the energy of Lord Ganesha, when that energy is manifesting outside, that is the external success. When it is manifesting inside, it is a victory over yourself. Being successful means mastering yourself. Lord Brahma, when the energy of Lord Brahma manifests outside, it is the energy of creation, creating things. Now when the same energy is manifesting inside, comes the creativity. Creation of anything positive. Creation of anything inside. The creation of every thought, the creation of every emotion is nothing but the energy of Lord Brahma, whether it is positive or negative. Similarly, when the energy of Shiva manifests outside, we call it destruction. You destroy various external blocks and all that. We learn to harness it. But wherever there is destruction, it is nothing but the energy of Shiva, the energy of Rudra, the energy of Mahakali. Now, the same thing internally. Whenever any thought is destroyed, it is nothing but the energy of Shiva at work. So when we learn to harness it and utilize that energy to our advantage, then we use the energy of Shiva to destroy whatever negativities we have. And we use the energy of Brahma to create all positive things. Similarly, the energy of Vishnu, it's maintenance. Whatever good things, whatever level you're in, you get further and further established and you learn to maintain it. So, the application of this principle of God with respect to the inner world is more pertinent to your sadhana. It's not that it is not applicable at the Brahmanda Loka or Bahya Loka, there also it's applicable. But when it comes to the internal world, then it is even more applicable. Because unless you make your whole personality divine, you will not be able to uplift your consciousness and become one with the infinite. So every day, when you're doing your Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana, what is the principle behind it? It is the same thing only. The sound vibrations are all coming from that infinite reality. The cosmic celestial sound vibrations, divine vibrations. So when you keep exposing yourself to those divine vibrations every day, what happens? Each and every cell of your body becomes divine. Each and every aspect of your personality starts absorbing and radiating that divine energy. And when you keep on doing it, you will become established in that. Just imagine, if every aspect of you becomes divine, then what have you become? You have become divine. See, supposing we take a necklace, and let us say every aspect of that necklace is nothing but gold. Then what about the whole necklace? That is also gold only. So, when it comes to the inner world, God means relative goals of self-development and self-purification. One is the inner divine qualities. The other thing is a relative goal. See, one common question is always asked by many sadhaks at different points of time. I am unable to relate to this goal of self-realization. Even recently, a few people had sent this question. I am unable to keep self-realization as my goal and function in life. Self-realization or God realization. That is enlightenment. So how do I then approach the whole thing? That is where this principle comes. So one is that absolute goal of self-realization. Now if you are unable to relate to that, then this is the principle. Instead of Devaha, that is God in singular, now Devaha, gods in plural. The various goals related to self-development and self-purification can be fixed by you. Every day start becoming better. What are the areas which need focus? Okay, there is this energy of laziness which is running within me. Where all is it manifesting? Take them up one by one and start mastering them. One day, just focus on one thing and master it. Day by day, you will start growing. What are the various impurities which are there? Okay, whenever I see someone who's prosperous, I'm feeling jealous. This is just an example I'm giving. Now I'm getting that jealousy. Where all is this jealousy manifesting? So there you release that energy of jealousy through sadhana and you substitute it with the energy of blessing. Last session or one session before that was covered, no? Wishing good for others. So you can practice that. Like this, you have to do a study of yourself. If you want to apply this sadhana, this principle of gods at the inner level, then you need to do what is called a self-study. In Sanskritam language, the word used is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means swa-adhyaya, study about oneself. Swadhyaya doesn't mean study of scriptures as many people are thinking. See, if you study scriptures as an external knowledge, then there is no use. We study the scriptures to get a better understanding of ourselves. The Bhagavad Gita is like a mirror. See, in a normal intellectual approach, Bhagavad Gita is like a book, like a storybook you're reading, no? It is like that. But when we use the yogic approach, the Bhagavad Gita is no longer a mere book. It becomes a mirror for you. When you go and stand in front of a mirror, it reflects you. Why do you go and stand in front of a mirror? To look at yourself only, no? Do you go and stand in front of a mirror to look at yourself or to look at the mirror? Okay, just think. You are looking at the mirror and saying, oh, mirror is like that, mirror is like this. Does anybody do that? No. You're standing and looking into the mirror, but what is your motive? You want to look at yourself. And supposing, let's say, you notice that there is some dirt in that reflection there. Then do you go and clean it there? No. You clean it here. You recognize the mirror as a tool which reflects you. So correction is done here. Similarly, when you study the Bhagavad Gita or any scripture, now a mere intellectual approach will only look at it as a book. It's like admiring the mirror. Some people say, Bhagavad Gita, amazing, wonderful principles, Vedas are amazing, every Sunday discourse, oh how wonderful. It is all like just appreciating and looking at the mirror and appreciating it. That is of no use. So just as your purpose to go and look at a mirror is actually to look at yourself, similarly, the purpose of these Sunday sessions is to understand yourself and your life better. We are using Bhagavad Gita as a tool to understand oneself and one's life. Remember this. So when you approach it that way, then you are applying this principle of gods with respect to the inner world. You are doing what is called as swadhyaya, swa-adhyaya, studying yourself. What is the inner tool which will help you do that? your awareness, self-awareness. The more you become aware of what is happening inside, the better are the chances of correction and becoming better and growing. But if your goal is not self-development, if you have not fixed a basic goal of self-development or self-purification, the moment there is awareness of what is happening inside, and if you see something negative, you will run away from it. You will close down. You will try to divert your attention here and there instead of attending to it. It's like you go and stand in front of a mirror. There is some dirt which you're noticing on the cheek. Oh my God, the mirror is showing me as dirty. If you immediately run away, who is the loser? Mirror is not the loser. It is you who is losing out. Similarly, when you fail to develop yourself, when you fail to purify yourself, who is the loser? It is you only. But the ego plays tricks. Many people, they try to avoid, the Guru Shakti. Why? Because the Guru Shakti manifests and keeps correcting, like a mirror, A Guru is also like a mirror only. If you go and interact with your Guru, now immediately you will become very much aware of so many things which are happening within you. Because fundamentally he is empty. He is like a mirror only. He is one with the infinite and he is in a state of complete emptiness. So he will exactly reflect whatever you are. And he will increase that energy, that Guru Shakti itself will increase the self-awareness tremendously. So when it comes to the application of gods with respect to the inner world, the self-awareness is the tool, and you should have the relative goals of self-development and self-purification. Atma Shuddhi means purifying yourself. So if you are unable to straight away relate to the absolute goal of self-realization, no problem. Fix your goal as self-purification, self-development. Day by day start becoming better. In the coming chapters, Lord Krishna will be covering this in greater detail. So who is a yogi? Who is a sannyasi? We'll be seeing that in the coming chapters, where he will say one who has this goal as Atma Shuddhi and goes on purifying, that person is a yogi, that person is a sannyasi. It has nothing to do with the external attire, what dress you are wearing, what lifestyle you are living. All these things do not matter. The real, crux is this only. The application of the sadhana of Devaha with respect to the inner world. And why we focus more on that application is, when you change the energy pattern from within, when you make your energy pattern from within divine, godly, then it automatically has a powerful influence on your outer world, Bahya Loka. Your outer world also becomes divine. All your goals will start manifesting. If you want wealth, if there's a requirement, you will be able to manifest it easily. If you want relationships, you will be able to manifest a wonderful relationship. Everything happens. And not only that, that energy of divinity which you are creating inside will start emanating, and it will reach nature. It will add on to the collective consciousness in a positive way. So that is why our great yogis laid so much of emphasis on making your inner world divine. That's why in the last session I had covered with respect to Brahmanda Loka and outer world, and this time specifically we wanted to focus on the inner world, because that is the key, that is the most important thing for you all. Not that the other two are not important. They will also support, when you focus on that. But don't leave your inner purification and self-development. This you can practice anywhere. The country does not matter. What religion you belong, all these things do not matter. What caste? Some people ask, Sir, which sampradaya do you belong to? Means lineage. What does it matter? The core principles are one and the same. Whatever sampradaya you take. Fundamentally, what did all masters from different religions, from different sampradayas, what did they say? They only talked of self-development, self-purification, and relating to that infinite, supreme God, that infinite reality. They may have used different names. One person called that infinity as Vishnu, one person called as Shiva. Now these things really do not matter when you understand in depth. At the deepest level, all paths are one and the same only. From the external level, there are a lot of differences. The customs will be different, the rituals will be different. So many differences are there. But when you start going deeper and deeper, and at the deepest level, you will find that the core messages are one and the same. Be good. Be true to your conscience. See, these are all very basic core messages. That is the Sanatana Dharma. The eternal principles. Sanatana Dharma is not a religion. Sanatana Dharma is nothing but a set of eternal principles of life and living. Noble principles. Whatever principle elevates you, it is Sanatana Dharma. It is not with respect to India alone. Anywhere, in any part of the world, at any point of time, let it be anyone, when they get to the core principles, that is called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is a Sanskritam word for eternal principles. Those principles which never change, which doesn't change according to time. Permanent principles. That's why we call it eternal, timeless principles. So, this you take it up as a homework. That is the application of gods at the internal level. Last week we saw the other two, and I asked you to look into your life. Now you start looking into your inner life. What is my bhavana inside? According to your bhavana, you will get results in life. Don't blame anyone. Don't blame others. See, if you are acting in a foolish way, now that will be the results. Supposing somebody is cheating you. Now, one way is that person is cheating me. The other way, sadhana way, is I am allowing that person to cheat me. Who is preventing you from speaking up for yourself, taking corrective action? Nobody. You are being tamasic. And then you blame others. However factually true you may be, that person may be cheating you. It may be factually right. But the solution is not there. The solution is in you becoming more intelligent so that you don't allow that person to cheat you. This is only a simple example I am giving. Like this, you take many examples. That person is dominating me. This is one approach. There will be no solution. The other approach is, the application of gods at the inner level is, I am allowing that person to dominate me. See, only if another person is submissive, that person can be dominant. No? So why am I not speaking up for myself? Because of that weakness, lack of self-confidence. So let me build that. Then that becomes a relative goal of self-development. You are invoking the energy of Bhagavan Muruga within you. Whether you call it as Muruga or not, that is the energy which is functioning. These great masters gave out these principles in a very systematic way. So the application of the sadhana of gods at the inner level should be done in a very deep way. In every situation where you're having an issue, change the focus from outside to what is happening inside you. What is it that I am lacking due to which this problem is there? Problem is there means let the external problem be there, due to which that external situation is affecting me. See, supposing somebody comes and attacks you. Now, if you know the art of self-defense, you will be able to defend yourself. Now, stopping that person from attacking you is one thing. You may stop this person, another person may come and attack you. Best is to learn self-defense. Now, don't take it literally and go for self-defense class. I'm only giving this example to come to our spiritual principles. Similarly, today the world is posing a lot of challenges. Now, instead of focusing there, now you focus on building those qualities which will help you to combat those challenges. You keep on saying, oh, my job is not good, this is not good. What about you? Why don't you increase your qualification? Then automatically you will become recognized. I want to earn so much, but my present job, there is I don't have any interest. Then you cannot earn. You should learn to adjust and learn new things. That is application of gods at the inner level. You should invoke the energy of Goddess Saraswati and start learning. At any age you can learn anything you want. It is a question of the firm resolve, the intention. That's why he uses the word bhava. When you don't have an intention to learn new things and fulfill the expectations of your management in a corporate scenario, then don't complain and say that I am not being paid well and all that. You get whatever you deserve. You create your karmas, you create your life, and that is exactly what is manifesting in the external world. Whatever is happening in the Bahya Loka is nothing but the effect of what is happening in the Antarloka. So when you change the energy pattern from within, automatically all these things will change. So we'll stop with that here. Very powerful messages have been given. You think about whatever points have been given and start practicing them. Do the homework. Take up one area, two areas where there are issues and shift your focus from the Bahya Loka, the problem, to the Antarloka, the inner issue. What is that within me, what energy within me is causing that issue? And substituting that negative energy with the energy of Deva means gods, divine energy. For example, I told you, my tendency not to learn new things is like a block in my career. Now substitute it with Goddess Saraswati energy. Start developing the tendency to learn new things. Life will also become interesting. You will also succeed externally. That person is causing a lot of issues for me, dominating me. My lack of self-confidence is the root cause. So let me now invoke the energy of Bhagavan Muruga. Invoking the energy of Bhagavan Muruga means developing that self-confidence. Let me do sadhana and release those negative factors. See, this is the homework which I'm asking you to do. If you can pick this point and start doing this homework, you will find a tremendous impact in your life. Okay? So, before we go to the Nididhyasana meditation, I will take up one question. A sadhak has sent this message. Dear Yogishri, Hari Om. I was blown away by today's session. This was sent on 18th of August, 2-3 weeks back. It was when the announcement was made about the next Yoga Sankirtan release, that is Shri Hanumat Dhyana, So it was so beautiful and powerful. Also, I have been feeling for quite a while that the next Yoga Sankirtan is on Lord Hanuma. I had even mentioned this to my SIL, who is also, I think, sister-in-law, who is also a sadhak. Now, it's not only it's not only her, but so many sadhaks have felt that energy of Lord Hanuman in the past few months. Some people have sent mails, some people have put it even in the YouTube comments. It's just that, see, it's a good thing. It means your intuitive powers are increasing. You are not able to interpret it and connect the causes and effects, that's all. Some others, they may not have experienced exactly, specifically as Lord Hanuman, but they have experienced a lot of inner power and all that, which is nothing but the energy of Lord Hanuman. So that is something very interesting. So not just this is a question actually. Today's session literally felt like it addressed everything that has been going on in my mind. Not just today's session, in many sessions I've experienced this. I somehow get your messages during the week much before the Sunday sessions. I never mentioned these to you as I was unsure if I was over-assuming or over-imagining due to my ego's self-importance. So the question is, how do we know if we are directly or correctly perceiving something, or if something is projected through our minds and ego? Should we even analyze, or we'll just know? Thank you so very much for everything, Yogishri. It's a beautiful question which she has asked. See, these experiences are bound to happen. As your inner powers are growing, you will experience a lot of things. This is not only with respect to her. Many sadhaks have said this, that many a times they get messages much before, and the same thing is reiterated in the discourses. Sometimes you're thinking about something and same thing is being told. So you catch that frequency. There's nothing, I'll explain the principle. See, when these Sunday sessions are given, for example, with respect to the Sunday sessions I'm giving, now whatever comes in a meditative state, that is being given. This is not planned and all that. So I just connect to the infinite and the energy starts flowing. So thereafter it is the infinite which expresses itself. So that is why when some people come and say, "Sir, great lectures," I just simply nod and leave it at that because there is no credit to the speaker. It is all the grace or the flow of that higher energy. All glory goes to that infinite only. So, as a sadhak, when you also get connected to the infinite source is one and the same. So the infinite only has manifested, that God has manifested as a student, as you. Same God has manifested as a form of someone who is giving these truths. It is a leela, it is a play. So when you get connected to the infinite, when you recognize this, when you do sadhana, start getting connected to the infinite, sometimes you have a question, answer is given exactly to that question. Sometimes even before the message is given, you have an experience, you get some messages in your sadhana. This is all possible. See, once you understand how this principle works, then you understand the science behind it. It looks like a miracle, but there is a science behind it. So that's all it is. And not only this, as you keep doing more sadhana, more and more powers will start manifesting. And that is why right from beginning I keep on saying, be very humble, practice humility. Vinaya means humility. See, we are going to invoke the energy of Lord Hanuman, through the Sri Hanumadhyana Yoga Sankirtan. He has there are 5 Hanumans put together as one Hanuman. 5 different energies. Very, very powerful. One energy is, I told you, Dhyanasthanjaneya as a meditative. The Vinayanjaneya is there. Vinayanjaneya means humble, humility. He was a personification of humility. Vidyanjaneya means a personification of wisdom. Amazing energies, So when you combine all that, that is the real energy, the avatar of Lord Hanuman. People only know a few stories here and there and some very limited concepts. So, right from beginning, practice is humility. So these powers will keep coming, going. No need to give too much of importance to this. Now your question is, how do we know whether it is actually I'm receiving messages or my mind is projecting? That is a good point which you're raising. That is why I'm saying don't give too much of importance to this. As a thumb rule, you can take this. Whenever you feel, I've got a message and all that, it has to be positive. It has to be elevating. It can never contradict what the Guru is saying verbally. See, sometimes what happens is your mind can also play tricks. Supposing I tell you, do this sadhana. For example, I'm saying, after these lectures, you think about them, note down your points, and then express them. That in the YouTube comment section, which many of you are doing, and I'm also going through them, not to find out mistakes, not all that. No need to worry whether you're writing it correctly. Just express yourself freely. It's that sadhana. And when I'm looking at that, I'm not reading merely the words. I'm sensing the energy, the inner energy of that person. Even when a person just says Hari Om or thank you, that energy hits. So automatically, if there is an imbalance, the healing energy flows, and many sadhaks have reported that this problem was there, that got solved, this got solved. It's all because of the healing energy only. Wherever we focus, the healing energy flows there. That's the best way to get connected. Now, a simple sadhana like that is given. Now, your mind can manufacture its own interpretation of that. Yogishri gave that as a general message, but I think for me, I'm going very deep into this thing. So, it's very difficult. I'm finding it very difficult to express. That is the ego playing its part. The mind is manufacturing and interpreting. So, whenever you find that something is contradicting what message the Guru Shakti is giving you, then understand it's a play of your mind. So deeply you observe that you are not able to express. Same thing if the Guru also says. Guru experiences the highest depth. So therefore no lectures. It cannot be expressed. Please go home. Then, so that is the trick. The mind, the ego keeps playing. So whatever so-called messages which you are claiming, anything which you experience should not be in contradiction to the message of the masters, the message of the Guru Shakti. Then there is no problem. Like suppose it is said, do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana every day. Suddenly you may think, that is a general message Yogishri has given, but I got a message in my sadhana that is enough to do Yoga Sankirtan once a week. Nobody has said that, I'm just saying, supposing a person says that, it is nothing but the mind justifying its weaknesses. So the ego is waiting to manifest in some way or other. And when you receive messages from the master, now it interprets in its own way and and creates a lot of confusion. So as long as whatever you're experiencing is elevating you spiritually, it is in line with what the master is giving. Because as far as the master is concerned, whatever is inside will come out at the external level also. There will be no difference between the thought, emotion, the words and all that. Is it clear? This thumb rule can be applied anywhere. Anything, if it's contradictory to what is given in the Shastras, what is given by these great masters. Shastras mean what great masters have given. And what the Guru Shakti is giving, or what is being given in the Sunday session. In the Sunday session, we are directly seeing what the ancient wisdom is. When it is contradictory to that, then you should become very alert. This is something which my now ego is taking over and my mind is playing tricks. Because that will cause stress. That will bring some failure in somewhere, or something will go wrong. Instead of waking up at that time, right at the beginning itself, if you're alert, this is what I was saying, self-awareness, swadhyaya, self-study is very important. Okay, so this is an answer to her, to you who has asked this question, and also to all the other sadhaks. In the name of being connected to the Guru Shakti, don't manufacture your own things and say Guru Shakti told me, Guru Shakti told me. No, please don't do all that. Just be humble, receive whatever messages are given, practice it, and go, take a simple approach in life, towards life. Okay, fine. So now we'll do Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming very relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations.
With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my emotions, beyond my thoughts, beyond my karmas, lies my higher self. My higher self is infinite and divine. My ultimate goal in life is to become one with the infinite. My relative goals are self-development and self-purification.
I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illumined. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today's session was very powerful, directly related to your inner sadhana. So start applying these principles. If you want any results in life, you need to apply yourself. Without playing your part, don't simply say God will take care. Some people send me mails, Yogishri will take care, Yogishri, you will take care. Taking care means giving this wisdom. So that's all. Giving guidance. More than that, a master cannot come and eat your food for you. How is that possible? He can only cook the food and serve you. Be clear in that. We're going to have Sri Hanumat Dhyana release on 10th of November. The Yoga Sankirtan material is almost ready. It's in the final stages. And once it's basically ready, I'll be further energizing it. Very, very powerful. It is designed to increase your inner power, to make you a very powerful sadhak. And after that, we are going to have the empowerment course also in December, 22-day course on attracting abundance. It will be very useful for you. That is, attracting abundance means wealth in any form, but in a sadhana way. That is what is important. Through inner purification. Because otherwise, it will just become like any other worldly experience. So our focus is on reaching that infinite. So whatever will help you for that, that is being given. So it's going to be a very, very powerful and practical course. The details will be given to you soon. Let the details come out. Then if you have any questions regarding that, you can always ask. I will clarify. I'll explain about it. That is the different aspects as we move along. Okay? So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.